Alright guys, this is Vodka versus Brackets 4, Mythic. This is a Boomkin with Flamethrower. Flamethrower won't be very noticeable for everyone else. Or I guess it will be, but it's not a huge thing. It's a good POV to watch for ranged. I didn't want to melee POV for this, so. Okay. So, Lust off the bat, nothing very hard. There's very minimal changes in this whole entire fight. There's only 2 changes, actually, and it's... Well, 3, I guess. 3 changes. The first one is Exploding Fungus, which you'll notice eventually. The second one is the Waves. We'll call it the Tides. And the third one is how many Spore Shooters spawn. There's going to be 4 spawn right now. There they are. Ranged, you have to immediately switch to these, double dot all of them, and go fucking ham, because if you do not kill these immediately, like, it's wrecking. Make sure we silence all of them as well, that we can. So, they deal with those pretty quickly. Notice they had a Mind Fungus right in front of this green mushroom, and they killed it immediately, but until it was by a mushroom, they didn't. They also have this one by the green, so they're going to kill it. Otherwise, if a Mind Fungus isn't by a green mushroom or a blue mushroom, don't really worry about it. There's no need. As long as it's not, like, right on top of us and displacing us or something else, we'll be okay. It's not a huge deal to kill those, as long as we don't have a mushroom just fucking us in the butthole. So, Fungal Flesh Eater, it's the same thing. It's a 2-second cast, and it actually has a buff that increases the cast time. We'll get an interrupt rotation set up for that. I'm looking into some add-ons for telling us, like, whose interrupt is next and stuff, so we pay attention to that, just to help us out a little bit. Here's a Rejuvenating Mushroom. They do the same thing, and it's actually very important to pop these. Vodka, I think, actually has one of the worst kills I've ever seen, which isn't saying much because it's very clean, but I think it's bad because they didn't actually pop any of these Rejuvenating Mushrooms. They only pop one in the very middle, and I think that's bad, mostly because I think you can really shorten your kill time. I think Method's kill time was about 8:30 to 9 minutes. This kill time is 9:40. So I think you could be a lot more efficient with that, popping those. Also, if you notice at the end of their fight, they have 3 Rejuvenating Mushrooms in total. They have one at the beginning, which they just didn't pop. They have a second one, which they do pop, and they keep it up for about 10 to 15 seconds. And then they have their third one. Their third one, they don't pop, and all their healers are They favor the green mushrooms. The thing is, I don't really understand that because they're actually not using many raid cooldowns anywhere either. So I just think it's a bad decision because you can use a lot of your raid cooldowns during the infesting while you're standing beside a rejuvenating instead of standing by a green one. So that's just my opinion, and I mean, our strat could very well be the same as theirs, but I think rejuvenatings are pretty important for this fight, and I think they do it badly because of that. Okay, so the new mechanics. We talked about everything old and how important it is. Flamethrowers, if you haven't been seeing, they just do the same thing, basically. Go to 100, wait till 1, and start going again. Here's an Exploding Fungus. You're not going to get to see it very well, but it's all these random little mushrooms everywhere. They explode after about 5 seconds. As long as you're not in the effect of a mushroom, you'll be fine. If you're watching this kill here, I'll make sure to say something when he does it. But there's actually an Exploding Fungus, and there's 2 mushrooms probably within a 3-yard range of each other. He runs right in between those, and they explode, and he still does not get hit. It is the easiest mechanic I've actually ever seen, so we'll be able to do that. Here's the Rejuvenating they pop. Yeah, so here's the Rejuvenating they pop. Mostly because it's in between a wave, I guess. I don't know what they were thinking. I think a green spawns right beside it as well. That's why they popped it. So that was lucky for them because they probably wouldn't have popped it otherwise. Once you watch the healer, man, I mean, it's still very low, and I don't think they keep this Rejuvenating up enough to make sure they're not So that's one of their faults. Whatever. I shouldn't be talking about these dumbass people. God damn. So there was a wave. That was the second change. If you didn't see it, it's just like Sartharian and Obsidian Sanctum. I'll make sure to say something about it the next time it comes in. It's very easy, just find a hole and run through it. The hard part is when it lines up with a infesting and a living mushroom, because you have to displace a little bit, but it's okay. That wave can also be blinked through. It can be immunity and stuff. So here's an infesting. The one thing I wanted to highlight about infesting, we don't notice in heroic, but it actually gives you a debuff and it stacks up to 10. One thing you can do is you can actually cloak or immunity this debuff off of you at like 6 stacks, and you only take about half the damage of the whole thing. So that's a very smart idea for times when if you have cloak, just do it every fucking time. But for everyone else, just do it when you can. And when there's a lot of raid damage, or a mushroom spawns on top of us, or I mean mind fungus, or something else of that nature where we have to move. Notice everyone should be targeting the ad at this point, you know, besides people that are on spore shooters, and then mind fungus when we need to do that. But most of the time, you'll just be doing lots of damage to the big ad, so that we can get that down before its cast starts becoming like too quick to interrupt. Notice it was about a 1.5 second cast right there. Let's watch it right now. Here, it's come 2 seconds. Yeah, it's about 1 second. So, I mean, it gets pretty fast, and really needs to be interrupted. So here's Call of the Tides. Here's Wave. Just gonna find a hole, run through it, and you're fine. They actually do, their flamethrowers do a very good job of just keeping everything clean. One thing is that if there's a spore shooter and it's on top of some creep, we need to make sure to clear that, because if that stays up for too long, it can definitely kill us. So, that's one thing. Damn, I don't remember where this exploding, where he runs into the middle of them. But I'll start calling out this exploding so y'all can make sure to look at it. Spore shooters, make sure you can silence these, like I said, and interrupt, so make sure to do that just to lessen raid damage. They get pretty raped right here, so. There's Wave again, whatever. It's super easy. As soon as we see this mushroom, I think it's coming up actually. Yeah, it is. Here it is. Okay, so watch this. Right here. Oh, fuck, where is it? Okay, well, he got pretty close. I guess that's not it, but you saw that. That's the exploding mushrooms. They just, big brown mushrooms, then they turn red and explode. Just make sure not to be in the effect of the mushroom, and you're absolutely fine. This is bad for them. They have a fungus right on top of a green. This is where we would pop a raid cooldown or something. They actually do pretty decent, because they don't have infesting until later, so. Notice they do a very good job of not taking... You know, just being really efficient on damage taken and on healing. Because, I mean, it's really spiky during infesting. Exploding's coming up soon. There's the wave. Exploding comes pretty much right after, I think. Boring. Damn, that Shadow Priest just told all of them. Calm the fuck down. We're gonna have exploding after this, infesting. They're gonna ignore this big ad, I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure this is what actually nearly wipes them at the end. We'll still ignore it, but melee, you have to make sure to get your interrupts. If you have to be careful and just, well, actually create a focus macro for it. That's the best way to do it. I noticed some people, when I was watching Avast kill their arms warrior, when it was his time to interrupt, he was targeting it for 5 seconds beforehand. Remember, you have a timer for it, so you're completely fine. He's exploding again. Watch it, watch it, watch it. No one's in the effect. It's right beside them, literally. They move, explosion. They dodge it very easily. So just watch the timer for decay, and as soon as you see it pop, then just boom, interrupt, and you're fine. Watch, they don't interrupt right here. That's what nearly kills them, but they still get it, surprisingly. I said this was a clean kill, but that wasn't very clean, I guess. They would have been fine otherwise, though. So really the big thing of this fight, we just need to be efficient. This actually took them 27 pulls. We did 28 pulls on Twin Ogron last night in 3 hours. So we can definitely do this. We're not under-geared for this, I don't think. It'll definitely be harder, I think, for us than it was for them. But we can definitely do this. Just be efficient, ranged. I mean, if you don't... okay. First of all, if anyone dies to Exploding Mushroom, you likely had a seizure. And the first thing I want you to do is go to the doctor and make sure you're not dying. But the second thing I want you to do is never die to Exploding Mushroom again. After you've watched this video, if you think, if you die to Exploding Mushroom, it's definitely a stupid mistake. So don't die to that. Don't die to wave. Make sure we're switching hardcore. That's really the most important thing in this fight is switching. For both DPS and healers. Healers, you have to switch to mushrooms as fast as possible when we pop them, so we don't lose them during an infesting. I'm sorry. And DPS, you just have to switch to everything. Big ad most of the time, but when little ads come out, the spore shooters, you have to switch and destroy them, or else, it could kill us. So, there you go. There's my explanation. I know, pretty shitty video. I wouldn't recommend to watch it, but you have to. So, thanks guys for watching. We will see you tonight, and let's get this down. It would be in a US 10th kill or something, so it'd be nice. Thanks.